And welcome to another episode of Behind the Mask. Welcome back, you guys. We are, of course, I am Eugene with my co-host over there. Before I point, are you to my left or to my right?
So on camera, I'm to your right, or what? No, your left. Sorry.
So over there is Dennis.
Yes, yes.
It throws me off because on the screen it just Anyways,
A little
welcome back
confusing.
to
I say it can be a little confusing. Yeah.
It is. So I'm whatever. I think I'm gonna stop pointing and just say my co-host Dennis, as always, right there. He's on screen. That's all that matters, right?
That's right. That's right.
My right. Okay, Lupe. We don't need any of your snarky remarks already. Hello, Mom. How are you? All right, guys. So we're back for another wonderful Monday. I almost said Wednesday. Trying to get everything all together. So we're back on another wonderful Monday at 7:30, of course, as always. Welcome to the show. Really quick, let's get this out of the way. So you guys can obviously find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, like you're watching us right now. Along with that, you can also find us on Instagram, TikTok. What else do we have? TikTok. We have
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Foot Finder.
Foot Finder.
Which Foot Finder's a real thing now.
It is. I told you. Yes. Good old little Caesar. Well, he's not little, but Big Caesar. You know, one of our backdoor boys he actually bought his PlayStation 5 by selling pictures on there.
Oh my God.
True story.
I did not need to know that.
Honest to God. True story.
Yeah, we're on MySpace. Yes, MySpace.
MySpace, on also AOL. So if you guys have your disc, make sure you load those things up so you can get all those hours you can use.
That's right. And don't forget we have a dedicated Yahoo chat as well.
All right, guys, we are back. We are happy to be here. And really quick, shameless plug to a company that does nothing for us, but we're happy to buy all their products, which is Ghost right back there. I've got mine stacked up. I had mine earlier because I had to actually drink it. Dennis has got his right now. Of course, that is the orange creamsicle, which is amazing flavor. Actually, that's the same flavor I had earlier today. So I got to go out and get some more because I'm running low. Right. So anyways, guys, if you're looking for that legendary, is it epic or legendary?
Legendary energy, epic
focus, no sugars, no artificial flavors. They're the company to go to. It's all natural, 100% natural caffeine, and that's the stuff that gets us going, and we always love it. You would think that I'm on it right now, but I am not. Like I said, I had to have that thing earlier. Yesterday was a hard day. Dude, I actually hyperextended my arm yesterday. So, yeah, I'm hurting. I also got a couple of good bruises across my forearm during training, and that's a rare thing for me to get banged up, but I got pretty banged up. It was a good time.
Yikes.
So anyways, yes, they're what fuel us. You guys can check them out at ghostenergy.com, ghostlifestyle.com, and then on their Instagram, which is Ghost Energy, Ghost Gamer, and Ghost Lifestyle, all on Instagram. And go on to their YouTube channel. They always put up videos about like what's going on over there at their shop, which is out in Vegas. I actually got to drive by it. So also, if you guys want to smell manly, truly manly, check out Dr. Squash. Mine's up there. Dennis got his right behind him. It is some great smelling stuff. It's actually really good shampoos and soaps. Deodorants I heard were a little, but I mean they've got really great smells to them. Different stuff. They just put out their latest stuff, which is the Halo actual bundle.
They have the Master Chief collection.
Dude, I want one of those little warthogs that they're driving around in. I doubt that it could actually move once I get into it, but I want one of those warthogs.
Like a gorilla on a bicycle.
Dude, that would be so sick. I think, you know what? We should build one. I should build one. You should be able to ride it, though.
Should.
So, that might be a project that I may be working on for that other podcast we do. So, anyways, all right. Shameless plugs out of the way. We got that out, right? We're done. Dr. Squatch.
Yep.
Check them
Yep.
out on their website at drsquatch.com. Again, shameless plugs for companies that do nothing for us, but we love them. So we're going to keep plugging them until they finally notice us someday.
It's a hope, anyway.
Yeah, that is a hope, because right now, yeah, we're still hoping. But right now, I do have to drink some water because, yeah, like I said, this weekend took a lot. I literally got home yesterday, and this is something I never do, and I knocked out. Like, just passed out. I was tired. I was beat too. So Dennis, how was your weekend? I'm talking, just babbling on about mine.
Kind of uneventful. Last day of school for most of the kids was on Friday, including my own. And in typical clueless dad fashion, when I dropped the kiddo back off at the grandparents last night, I said, "Oh, summer school starts today. Starts at 8:30." Oh, nobody told me that. Nobody told me he was going to summer school. I was like, okay. Well, I got an email saying this is, the schedule. So I forwarded it to him, and as I get to go back to get in my car, I get a phone call. Yeah, summer school tomorrow? Yeah, you didn't sign her up? No, that it was voluntary. I go, what do you mean it was voluntary? So then I look at the actual thing that the school sent out for summer school. It's all extracurriculars. None of it is like math, English, history, stuff like that. So yeah, so no summer school.
Nice.
Don't ask me what they're supposed to do for kids who didn't do so well during the school year, but
well, that's when they just say, I guess, oh well, which kind of sucks, because I do remember, actually, summer school for me really wasn't a thing. Like, I remember it wasn't much of a thing till like middle school. And even then it was only extracurricular activities. It was in high school when it's like, you got to make up this class, and you got to make up, because
yeah, my school experience is different. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well, there we go.
I like to consider myself intelligent, but I was kind of a dumb kid. Anyway.
You're not dumb. You're not dumb, right, Mom? He's not a dumb kid. She'll chime in right now and say you're not.
Well, I'm sure she will. She's got to defend me. Right?
Yep. Oh, she just left you hanging.
That's all right.
All right, guys. Well, so we are going. Huh?
I said anyway. Moving on.
Oh, there we go. She finally chimed in. Let's show.
I didn't say I am. I said I was a dumb kid because I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
She said, but she said you're not dumb. All right, guys. All right, let's bring that down. All right, guys. So we've got, like, normally we actually, for the last few episodes, we've been like, well, not much to talk about. Today we've got quite a bit to talk about, because me and Dennis were talking, and yeah, he got me onto my soapbox, and I was like, all right, that's it. We got to save this.
Well, part of that conversation we can't talk about just yet, not without permission.
Oh no, I'm talking about the other stuff that we talked about just before we came on. That we can talk about.
Yes.
There's anything else I'm not going to talk about, but we do have some stuff, so we're going to get into our tourney talk. We're going to start off with this. Here we go. Let's bring up that slide. Add it into the stream. Boom. starting off with the first thing, which is WCPPL acquires USXBL. I have to say that
Yep.
really. You're gonna get tongue tied. So
Usable. That's the usable.
Oh, that's right. That's usable.
Yes, usable.
All right. So I'm going to read it directly from the press release. If you guys have not seen this, it is up on Instagram. It's on their Instagram. It's on Play WCPPL on Instagram, so you can find it there. And I'm pretty sure it's on their Facebook also. So
it's on their Facebook.
So this came out the 30th of May, 2023. So you guys should have heard about it. But again, if you haven't, well, here we go. So the WCPPL is excited to announce its acquisition of usable. I'm not going to break it down. The league's expansion into the Texas region for the last 13 years, the usable has been the gold standard for tournament paintball in Texas. Not really, but okay. Merging the two popular leagues will create more opportunity to play paintball across the Southwest and the West Coast regions. Sure. Mike Hinman, owner of WCPPL, has over 15 years of experience running tournaments on the West Coast and has been eager to expand. Okay. Mike had this to say about the merger. Expanding our operations to Texas has been a long-time goal of the WCPPL. We have big plans for the USXBL, starting with an increase in prizes. Ooh. Our staff will be in San Antonio for the JT Paintball Open at X Factor Paintball Field on July 15th and 16th. Big things are coming. After over 30 years in paintball, Steve Rabikoff, owner of USXBL, is moving on to focus on his new business, Park West Arms in South Dakota. I cannot think of a better person other than Mike to take over the USXBL. He has devoted his time and energy to the sport of paintball, and I am ready to watch him take over Texas, said Steve. So this is that was the announcement. That was what was put out.
Yeah. And Lupe actually made a great, kind of a TLDR here. So I'm going to hit that up on the screen right now.
Yes.
So
Lupe, you are reading my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is very much a calculated move due to the popularity and support that Bunkerfest has received.
Yes.
They actually sold out the youth division for the next event upcoming, so they expanded it, and then it sold out again. So what does that tell you? Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's cool to see the WCPPL expanding into, the Gulf states, Texas, and I think USXBL also goes into like,
it
Louisiana
hits that,
as well. I think.
Yeah, that it hits that kind of surrounding area around Texas.
Yeah, kind of the Gulf Coast there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's cool, especially considering what at the USXBL's prior ownership, he's got other projects that he wants to devote his time to. But yeah, I mean, this just smacks of we're in trouble. Bunkerfest is doing something right, and we need to figure out a way to maintain a foothold before we fade into obscurity. Now, that being said, I've never played in any of the USXBLs. I don't know from a player perspective, from somebody who's at the events, whether or not there's ever been major issues. So maybe Lupe can chime in on that. But Chris, Jeff, and the crew over at Bunkerfest have, whether they intended to or not, have kind of ruffled some feathers with the success of Bunkerfest, and we're starting to see some of the fallout from that.
Well, and here's the thing. So both Chris and Jeff don't care if they make a dime and even admit it to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what
They
they're intending to do.
Yeah, they said that on our podcast,
Yeah.
saying they don't care. They're doing it because the sheer love of the sport,
Nope.
and for the players because they've been those players and have played in other events that have sucked.
Yep.
I'm just going to say it straight up, have sucked. So now that they're doing well, others are starting to perk up ears because they suck. I mean, honestly, why would you be afraid of the new kids on the block if you know if
There you
you're
go.
doing something right? And Lupe right here, look, I'm intrigued.
From the horse's mouth, right there.
Lacked a lot of energy compared to Bunkerfest. Reffing is way better at Bunkerfest. So across the board, and this is for Jeff and Chris, you guys are doing an amazing job. Continue to do that job because the way you know that you're succeeding is by stuff like this. You've got them scared. They're literally against the ropes, and all they know how to do is let's see if we could merge together, become bigger this way, because what we're doing the other way, we ain't getting any bigger. If anything, people are walking away from us. And guess what? Look, I know Hinman is like the godfather over here on the West Coast and can make us disappear. But the fact of the matter is, you're not doing things right. Why don't you look at these guys and see what they're doing?
Well,
because that's the right way. I'm sorry. No, that's the truth. Honestly, I will say that. I will stand on my soapbox and say, these guys are doing it right.
Well, no, they are. Yeah, no, they are. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is Mike Hinman has done an amazing job with the WCPPL. And honestly, I've heard just as much good feedback about those events as the Bunkerfest events.
Yeah,
now, are they on the same level? No, they're not. Bunkerfest really is still, I mean, those guys are still kind of in their infancy stage. They've only been doing this for a few years now, where WCPPL has been established for, over a decade.
I know, but think about this. They're in their infancy stages.
But we don't know how well, to be honest with you, Eugene, we don't know how well WCPPL is going to go over with the USXBL events. I mean, they're essentially just absorbing it and then expanding their territory. So is that going to change anything? Maybe, maybe not. Now, WCPPL, like I say, they've already got an established base. Are they bringing in their own refs? Or are they essentially just going to use whoever's available? That certainly changes things. Vendors. Are we going to be seeing the same vendors at those events that we would see at USXBL events or NXL events or Bunkerfest? Well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So there's a lot of moving parts to it as to whether or not this acquisition is going to be a step in the right direction or if it's going to kind of fall on its face.
I feel, this is just me again. And again, you guys, if I say anything that you guys don't like, whatever. The fact is, it's my opinion. It's what I feel and what I think, and I can say what I feel and I think. But I did hear a story about a certain person who we're talking about telling another person they cannot have their tournaments here in this state because this is his state. These are his fields where he has his tournament. Remember that, Dennis? You've heard that story too.
I mean, there has been rumors that Mike Hinman has essentially put a embargo on tournament series in California. If you don't go through him and make sure you're not stepping on his toes, it's not going to happen.
So, and the acquisition of this particular tournament series can give him that type of, I think he'll think that kind of power over there to try to shut down.
I really hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope not.
I really hope not either, because then that just means like, dude, seriously, why would you want to shut down something that's good and it's good for the
Well,
players and it's good for the sport?
here's the other. Excuse me. Here's the other issue. Um, you know, Chris. I shouldn't even say Chris, but Bunkerfest as an organization came under fire because they changed the dates of their next event. Um, the reason they gave was because they said, well, it conflicts with another event that's going on, but the dates that they changed it to, they're doing it on the same weekend as another event series. Now, that leads down another rabbit hole because that event series is being held at Fit, and there has been rumors that Fit and Giant Party Sports, they don't like each other very much. And so is this more of a political thing? I don't know. Oh, that's another interesting point right there.
But that's an understatement. That's like, yeah, they don't.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm real curious, not to go off on too much of a tangent. My mom is in the chat right now, and as some of you know, I mentioned on the last episode, I'm actually going to be in Austin, Texas, the week of the 8th through the 16th, specifically Austin area for most of the week, but on the I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, Mom, is it the 10th to the 11th or 11th to 12th? Anyway, I'm going to be in San Antonio, so she wants to talk about, she said July 11th in San Antonio. So I don't know, maybe something, she says it's related, paintball related. So
Mom coming in with paintball?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, you're wrong. You're not going anywhere near Austin.
Well, not on that day. Not on that day.
All right, so this is or let's move on to the next portion of this, because it still has to deal with WCPPL. So
yeah,
he's got another state of the league event number 2. Recapping on that, and event number 3.
My mom's yelling me in the chat right now.
So, yeah, I'm gonna guess that he's gonna probably talk more about the acquisition of US or Usable.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he did, because this live stream actually took place on the 1st of June. So this is a little bit of an older post. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a little behind. I didn't watch it, didn't know about it. I was a little busy.
I was unable to, actually, because when they went live, I was just barely getting off work. So I was unable to watch the State of the League address as well.
But the other thing is, like, they could, I don't know. If I say any more, he'll probably figure out a way to shut us down.
So. Well, see, here's the thing: is if he or any of his representatives are watching our stream, we're not talking about this to be, confrontational or to try and stir the pot. This affects us as content creators. It affects you guys as players, as team owners, as coaches. We can't not talk about it. Your money is going into these events. Everybody out there who watches this, who's hearing this, your money is going into making these events happen. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's also paved with money. So
it's littered with money. So, so I wanted to bring this up. So if you guys want to watch, it already happened apparently, because I'm a little behind. Check that out. You can find out everything that happened, everything, I guess, what's going on with WCPPL, Usable, and all that other stuff from them. I watched a little bit of the last one, and I think I only lasted like maybe 20 minutes, because after that I was just like,
it's a little dry. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to, Mike Hinman is many things when it comes to paintball. He's been a pro for many, many years, played with a lot of the top tier teams over the years, being the owner and coach of Aftermath for a number of years, still owns the team. But by no means is he a great public speaker.
No, I've reached out to them, and yeah, that's as far as it's gone. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But hold on.
So, okay. So we're gonna be in. I'm gonna be in San Antonio on the 11th. So far, I found that much out.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we're moving on to the next thing, which is this is something that happened over at SC Village, which is the local field for us. One of the closest fields,
Yeah,
because Jungle Island is further out, and ASG is also
much further.
much further out.
Much further. But SC Village also is very iconic. SC Village has been around for 40 some odd years, operating as a paintball field. They were one of the first, and many of the legendary pro teams played there. Avalanche, Aftermath, Iron Man, Dynasty, especially when they were still the Iron Kids. They've been around for a long time, and their history is very well established. And as you guys can see on the screen right now, we had a very unfortunate event this past weekend. So
I don't I haven't even watched the video. Dennis actually watched it, so I'll let him talk more about
I've got
the
it up. I'll see whether or not it'll play. Unfortunately, it tends to stop and start, but that could be my spaghetti internet.
Okay, well, really quick, let me just read this off because
Yeah, absolutely.
So it says SC Village has been the leader in paintball operations for 40 years. Okay. The type of aggression play displayed this past weekend is not tolerated for general walk-on activities, and we do not condone this type of behavior. While this type of aggressive play may be suitable for tournament and speedball arena players where the skill and stakes are higher, we will never allow a player to bully other families and walk-on players in scenario paintball. SC Village has a lifetime ban for overshooting players as well as for any behavior with malicious intent. The player in question has been banned from SC Village and all affiliated parks. They posted their own evidence showing their actions and intend to harm others. Wow. The evidence has been forwarded to the proper authorities, and we believe the other parties are filing police reports as well. Additionally, we are working with other Southern California paintball parks to provide them with identification on all parties involved. The SC Village family has always spearheaded the growth of paintball globally. As players and operators of this game, we must all work to this game we all love. We must all work together to protect the honor of paintball and keep the sport fun for everyone. Blah 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 blah. Geo.
Yeah. Too long, didn't read. So yeah. As the thing states, there was an incident of overshooting, which unfortunately escalated to a physical altercation on the field.
Yeah.
So the player in question that initiated it has been banned. Unfortunately, the entire thing was being videoed via like a GoPro. Again, I don't know. Do you think I should share the video? I saw enough of it that I can describe it if you'd rather I didn't.
I mean, is it showing how much of a dude? It's just honestly, look. Now let's not even. I don't even want to show the video because it's I don't want to bring attention to
That's
anything.
Fair. So I mean, long story short on that. Essentially, they're playing on. It's out there. Just share it. Mike says we should just share it. It's out there.
I guess. All right.
Okay.
Let's see what this douchebag did.
But while I'm getting this ready,
Or if you want to send me a link, and if you think it's going to be faster with me.
Oh, I've got it right now.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, Lupe. Yes, I saw that as well. So while I'm getting this ready, unfortunately there was a similar incident with some airsoft players, walk-on airsoft players at a field in Arizona. But they unfortunately started getting into it inside the pro shop.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. This is a very aggressive game. And, adrenaline's going. But
Yeah.
remember, guys, this is a game. Okay, go for it. Let's see. Play it.
All right. So I don't know why they posted it in a triple view like this, but as you can see, guy's gun barrel is in the lower right. He's got players right in front of him. So he overshoots. Why is the audio not there?
The video's not even
here.
here.
Hang on.
It's all, nothing's going.
It's playing on my screen.
It's frozen over here.
Okay. You know what? Let me do this then. I'm just gonna send you the link, Gene, and you can put it up.
Yeah, Lupe, yeah. Walk-ons shouldn't expect that to happen. They shouldn't. It shouldn't be something that, guys, this is a sport that we love and we want other people to enjoy. And this is one of the main reasons why whenever I do this, whenever I go, and especially if I'm going to take my daughter, I do not do walk-ons.
Yeah.
Because you could shoot my daughter, yes, fine. She gets hit, she's out, whatever. You continue to shoot her because you think it's funny, you best believe I will not use a tank. Nah, that's too good.
Yeah.
I will make sure you pay for every single hit she takes that she shouldn't have had to take.
Yeah.
And I won't stop.
Okay.
They'll have to call the cops on me. All right. Anyways.
I sent you the link there, Gene.
Yeah. I was just putting out a promise to everybody right now. That's not a threat. I don't threaten people, man. That's just stupid. You don't threaten people. It's just a promise. Big difference. All right, here we go. I don't have the audio, but
it should be top of the screen there. That's a little speaker. Is it muted?
No, it's just I don't have the audio is not playing.
No. Look at the top of the video. See the little speaker? It's muted.
Oh,
there you go. Anyway,
son of a gun. All right.
Get the fuck up! Hey, stop it! Hey, let's go!
So as you can see, the guy with the camera was hit. It looks like they took their tank and smacked him in the side of the head, knocked the camera off of his head.
Everyone, barrel covers on! No, barrel covers on! Hey, you got go.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm here fucking all day, bro. What's up? Why are you getting out, bro? What's up? Why'd you guys think it out?
It's uncalled for.
What's up, man? Hey, stop!
Yeah.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
That's
enough of
ridiculous. It's uncalled for. It's ridiculous. It's just like you come up on somebody, you got them, you hit them, you see that you hit them. All right, they're out. You could have just moved. Like I honestly, if I see when somebody's hit, I'm turning my gun elsewhere. I don't need to see 15 balls hit them or continue to shoot them just because they haven't moved.
Yeah.
They obviously know that they're hit. They were getting up. Was it called for the guy to continue to, and he's filming the thing. It's like, dude, and you're posting it. How stupid are you? And not that you didn't post it, but yeah. Yeah, how stupid do you have to be to film yourself basically commit assault?
Yeah.
That's stupid. There you go. So, guys, this is one of the biggest reasons why I do not do walk-ons. And why I always say walk-ons are a bunch of retards. There we go. This guy just proved my point in why I do not like going and playing walk-ons, and I will continue to do private games. I'll get enough people together to go do a private game because I don't want to deal with that. We are not out there trying to win a tournament. There's nothing on the line.
Yeah, there's nothing at stake. There's nothing at stake on a weekend walk on. Nothing.
Nothing.
And there's certainly no reason to escalate it to that point. Sure, you can get frustrated. What the hell, man? I shot you 5 times. You didn't get out. Maybe somebody turns around and bonus balls you back or something like that. But I mean, really? And it's exactly how Lupe said. He basically filmed himself committing assault.
Yep. He definitely did. There's no doubt. There is beyond a shadow of a doubt that dude is something's going to happen to him.
But here's the larger point that I'd like to make, and as Mike had said, he and I were talking over the weekend. Where's the accountability? Because I mean, both parties there should have some responsibility for the event itself. Yeah, the guy should be more, he should be more conscientious of the fact that he just unloaded on somebody. Pod dumping somebody, especially from that close, is ridiculous. But then the guy to respond back the same way, which, again, I get it. You're pissed. You just got completely railed up one side, down the other. But then to escalate it in a verbal confrontation and then from there to make it physical, I think I think both people in this instance are to blame.
Yes and no. I mean, the guy that was the aggressor started the whole thing, and everybody will see that. He obviously was the aggressor from the get-go, and he filmed himself being the aggressor. Now, everything else that went on from that, it's like, okay, well, then who used the tank? Short of a psychological profile, how do you stop that kind of behavior with rec?
That's absolutely true. And sorry to interrupt you, Eugene. That point right there, Mike, is ties into the airsoft event that I was talking about, the incident in Arizona. That apparently these guys thought that they were badass thugs and decided to, act that way. Same situation the same outcome that we saw here is going to happen with this other event. These guys are not only getting banned from ever walking into any shop or field to play paintball or airsoft, but the authorities got involved. So it's likely they're, if nothing else, they're at least going to be spending a night in jail, if not more. They're probably going to have to go in front of a judge and answer some sort of a civil suit or something like that for assault. Is it really worth it? Just to prove how big your dick is? Give me a break.
So I'm sure people are not going to like what I'm going to say right now. But again, I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings by talking crap to me or whatever. All right, fine. But Dennis knows how I feel about airsofters. Okay. Him laughing says it all. You're a bunch of pogues that don't know what the hell you're doing. Just because you buy the gear, buy these freaking $1,000 guns, doesn't mean that you're anybody bad. Just gonna put it out there.
I think at one point didn't you say that like people who are hardcore airsofters are the ones who failed basic?
pride
They
in making
wanted to join the military, but they failed basic, and so they go play airsoft.
If I searched up pictures of these guys that, you know, play airsoft, they're going to be about 200 pounds overweight, trying to put on a vest that I wear, and it's going to come up to right here. And it's like, look, guys, you're not that impressive. When I see you guys at the paintball fields, I laugh at you guys. I laugh at every single one of you guys. Those of you guys that play rec ball, hey, it's cool. Play rec ball. But when you start dressing up in gear that you never should even put on, I just laugh at you guys. I do. So, yeah.
That's a fantastic point right there, Lupe. And again, this is something that, you know, was discussed. Mike and I talked about a similar point over the weekend as well. Having people take accountability for their actions, you know. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've been there in terms of, you know, when a match is on the line, tournament, you know, when you're at a tournament and the adrenaline is high, sometimes your emotions get away from you. And I totally get it. Is that justified? No. But I think the events, absolutely. You know, the administrators of these events need to crack down on stuff like that. Otherwise, we're going to see like what happened with the Boyum. No, I think it was Dylan Boyum. You know, he basically went to a standoff a few feet away from another player. And then earlier, Lupe made a comment about the Ollie Spica video, where Ollie Lang, for anybody watching or listening, essentially came down on another pro player, Ronnie Dizon, for giving a couple of extra taps to another guy who tried to do a bunker move on him. And Ollie's saying, oh, that's classless. You know, you should never do that, especially because the guy was on the ground. He shot him a couple of times in the back of the head, yada, yada, yada. And never mind the fact that Ollie did the exact same thing to Kyle Spica back in the day.
You know, it's just, so how do you solve this? How do you get away from this happening? That's really, it's a hard thing to do, especially with walk-ons. So I get it. You have, you know, you can say, oh, well, we'll break it down. You've got your beginners, your intermediates, and your advanced. Okay, well, any beginner can have a $1,500 gun. Not saying they know how to use it, but they could have it. So do you look at the markers that they're using and say, oh no, you got to go up? And it's like, but it's their first time.
Right.
Okay, they get into intermediate. Well, how do you deem somebody staying in intermediate or moving up to advance? Obviously, kids or people are going to be like, I don't want to go in advance because I want to just wreck people. They can sit in there all day long and they're going to wreck people.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So what do you do? What can you do? Do you base it off of age? Can't do that because sometimes families go and you're going to have, you know, kids mixed with adults. So,
and here's the other, like, here's the hard part for the people who are staffing the fields, the referees and what have you. They do the best they can. Now, granted, a lot of the guys who are reffing at the fields or helping to run the private groups, most of them are in their teens or you know, late teens, early 20s. And this is something that they do on the side to, you know, well, in exchange for reffing, they get free field time to play. You know, they don't have to pay entry for that, or they get paid in paint or something like that. Which is not to say that they shouldn't care, but it's harder for them to, you know, police people when what they're getting in compensation is less than, you know, it's not money. On top of that, they don't have the time or the ability to go through and go, okay, well, this is your first time, but you got a $1,500 marker, so we're going to need you to play with these people who obviously are more skilled than you. because you have the ability to shoot at the same rate of fire that they do, despite the fact that you've never stepped on a field before. They also can't go through and make sure that that they're not having wannabe gangsters walking into their field. They do the best they can with what they have.
Yeah. And me being a former ref for a field, and I got plenty, and I mean the list was long, of complaints against me, but the complaints were against me doing my job.
Yeah.
Making sure that everybody was safe, making sure that the people knew your mask is going to stay on, because it's either that or you're going to lose an eye. I don't want to have that happen.
Yeah.
I'm only strict because I'm watching out for you. I'm not doing it because I'm a douche. I'm watching out for you guys and your protection. Yeah. The overshooting, I threw people off fields because of that. Because again, I'm watching out for the other people. You overshoots a kid, you're a complete douche. I am throwing you off my field, and I'm throwing you out of my park. Plain and simple.
And because I'm looking out for somebody. Ultimately, that's really all the staffing can do. That's all they can do. Get off the field. If it happens again, you're ejected from the park. Now, at that point, yes, they could permanently ban that person. But is that guy really going to care? At the end of the day, he's going to be like, yeah, so what? I'll just go to a different field or whatever.
I know,
but where do you draw the line outside of getting, the authorities involved? Outside of actually saying, hey, that person's going to file assault charges against you.
But the other thing is that, like you said, most of the refs, they're kids. I was the oldest out there. That's why people didn't really stand up much to me. I had a few that stood up but saw that I wasn't going to back down. But it's because I was a lot older when I was doing it. So, but all right. I think we spent too much time on this. Moving on. Don't overshoot. If you overshoot anybody that I know, I'm coming for you. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to get out of this segment. We're going to close this segment out. But we are still going to talk about the paintball industry, because this was something me and Dennis were talking about. And we kind of mentioned it, kind of got a little bit into it in the whole acquisition of the two paintball entities, WCPPL and Usable. So obviously WCPPL is now using it, so it's usable. But we are talking about how we feel that, and this is, I've been on my soapbox before about this, but the higher ups, I guess you could say, of the paintball industry don't want to see this industry grow. And where's the evidence? Dennis, where's that evidence? What have you noticed finally? Your eyes have now opened.
Again, it's not that I just noticed it. I have it in a conversation that it dawned on me that it was bigger than I had thought initially. And I'm actually going to give all the credit to Mike at Charm City. Mike's in our chat right now, and like I said numerous times, that he and I were talking over the weekend for a good couple of hours, which I always love talking with Mike. He's awesome. But he broke it down for me and just completely blew my mind. The higher ups within the paintball industry have constantly talked about how much they want to grow the sport. And they always talk about, man, we really need to open up all these avenues for, getting younger, not getting younger people into the sport, but getting more of those, younger generations into the sport, and making it an environment for everybody to get out there and have a good time. But the problem is they don't want to grow the sport. They don't want outside money coming into the sport for one reason: the almighty dollar. Right now, you've got essentially the big three, which is refresh my who's the parent company that owns like JT, GI, Empire? Who is that? I don't remember now. It used to be Key Action Sports. Now that's something else. Anyway, but you've got them, you've got Dye, and to maybe a lesser extent, like Planet Eclipse and what have you. They have a stranglehold. Core. Thank you, Lupe. Core. They've got a stranglehold on the market. And if they get outside sponsorship, if they got, and this was something that we actually talked about, Mike and I were talking about, Dynasty back in like 2006, 2007, Intel was in some form sponsoring them. Mini, the cars, was sponsoring Edmonton Impact. To what extent, I don't know. But
actually, they had a big chunk of money that came from that. The dealership.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But if these outside companies invest in paintball, they could easily not only just say, hey, we see what you guys are doing. We have the means, the money, the resources to improve on it. But on top of that, we don't even need to hire our own people. All we got to do is say, hey, Jack Wood, you designed the one of the most popular markers out there right now, or two of them actually, the CS and the Ego platform. Well, it's cool. You make $150,000 a year working for Planet Eclipse. Well, do you want to double that or maybe even triple that and come work for us? They don't even need to find people. They're already out there. And in the grand scheme of things, if we were to get outside dollars coming in and truly investing in the sport, the people who have the stranglehold on the market right now would end up losing more than these guys would ever gain. Tom Cole would lose more money than Intel or Microsoft or whoever would stand to gain out of investing in paintball. They don't want to let it go. And so it's obvious when they talk about trying to grow things, when they try and, oh, we're going to do this and we've got this youth division and stuff like that. But they don't want to truly put their money where their mouth is. Because all that will happen is they'll end up losing more than, anybody else stands to gain.
So
thank you, Mom. Yeah, definitely. I will. I'll reach out to them and let them know. Sorry, my mom's got to go, guys. She's in another time zone and she's got to get going.
So, Dennis, what you're telling me is the bubble, if it was to burst, all those people within that bubble will lose money.
Yep, that's absolutely true.
Oh my God! I know what my wife always tells me when it comes to. She tells me one thing, and then I hear it from somebody else, and I say, you know what? That person totally said this, and she said, I told you this like 2 weeks ago. Really? Yeah. Dennis, I've said this for a long time,
but we have it on
podcast.
But that's the thing is it? I guess it was never presented to me in those terms. I was seeing it much smaller. I was seeing it more from the standpoint of just, I can't relinquish control because people won't do it the way I want to do it. That's as far as my vision on it had gone. I didn't stop to think about the bigger picture in terms of the almighty dollar.
That's what I've been preaching for so long and have said so many times. And that's why we will never get outside sponsors to be in this. And yeah, exactly, Mike. And this is something I was telling Dennis. Imagine if there was an Intel, just a board that Intel put out that is better than any other board that's ever been made. And we're able to use an app on our phone to be able to set our settings real quick. And all we do is just go. We don't have to open up the gun anymore to really do much.
Yeah.
Guess
Well,
who's
not
going to
only
lose out
that,
on
but imagine what they could do in terms of imagine what they could do in terms of the reliability of the software, the lifespan of the software. I mean, they could make these boards. We could know. Just imagine this, guys. You would no longer have to worry about playing in inclement weather. It doesn't matter if it is pouring rain. Your gun will not short out. The board, the circuit board, is going to be perfectly fine in that water, that mud, that dust. You're never going to have to worry about it again.
Guess what else can happen? Once it's connected to this will do all the changing for you without you even thinking about it. So here's the thing. This is something, again, I've said over and over again, and I guess I just didn't say it the right way, but I've always said that the problem is that those that are in this industry will not get the money that they were already getting right now, because because they think in such a small little picture, because their little brains can't go any bigger than this, they don't think about how they could profit off of it. Like he just said, hey, by the way, Jack Wood, I'm with Intel. You're already making the guns. You're making how much money a year? Too easy. I'll double it, and also make sure that those guns that you're making and those boards and everything else has all the backing, all the commercials, and we will put these things out worldwide.
Yep.
You'll make more money than what you're making right now.
Yep.
But because of P-brains, they won't do it. So guess what, guys? We won't see the sport get as big as it is unless somebody that can do it gets out there and pumps it out to these guys. But guys like who we were talking about earlier, and how he just kind of said, hey, I own California. You won't put a tournament out here. You can't do anything in California without me saying so.
Yeah.
Because that fear is in everybody. Nobody moves forward. Little guys like us think this is how the Army works. The NCOs actually have the good ideas and actually put forth the work and do the right thing. The officers, they're dumb as hell. There's that. There you go. There's how the Army works in a nutshell. And that's what's happening right now, is that the higher up is putting the fear of God in the lowers, but the lowers actually can know what to do and do it the right way.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that happen with two former military, even though one's a Marine. I forgive you, Chris. And the other is the Army. They're doing it right, along with a bunch of other veterans that are doing it the right way. So, yeah, I wish. Dude, imagine if he did buy the NXL. We'd be playing
only if
space.
they have Tesla charging stations at every event.
Oh, my God, we would. We'd have all kinds of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, guys, this is what's stopping us from breaking out of this bubble. The bubble is no longer just something that's pliable and can pop. This bubble is now solidified and is just won't even crack. And that's what sucks. I mean, if me and Dennis can bring in outside sponsors, we will. We'll do it in a heartbeat. If we can put together a tournament with outside sponsors, we would do it. Would it make us money? Probably not. But the fact that we bring in an outside sponsor to create something that's better and better for you guys, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
That's it.
It'd be a little bit self-serving too, because then I can play whenever I want it.
True. Well, that's what we'll get paid, is we get to go and play. But the fact of the matter is that the way that this sport is going to grow is it has to get outside of the stupid bubble.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will always be a joke to everybody. And that's that's one of the jokes that a buddy of mine, always says, this is just it's a sport for a bunch of broken 40-plus-year-old people, that have nothing better to do. It's like, you're kind of right. Unfortunately, we're starting to see some people make the right moves. Of course, again, we keep bringing up Bunkerfest because they're doing it right, and they want to see the youth league grow. Dennis just said the youth league got sold out. What did they do? They opened it up, and it got sold out even again. guys, I don't know. It's great to see all these other podcasts that are out there that are paintball, but all they're doing is regurgitating the same thing and giving you guys the same garbage. And it's always going to just be the pros that are going to get all the attention because they're the pros. And they're just going to keep feeding you the same thing. And all you guys are going to do is just keep eating that freaking Soylent Green and not realize that it's humans. And you guys probably won't get that reference because you're all young. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Mike even says, I mean, that it's a tie into the first part of the first segment of the show, in that, you know, it all comes down to, you know, it all comes down to that stranglehold that the powers that be have over their own little segment, and nobody wants to share that segment because that means that their portion is that much smaller.
I'll bet money, all $2 I have in my wallet, that's a paycheck from the government, that if we put together an amazing presentation, pitched it to several outside companies, they would put money into it and put on a tournament. And we probably can do it better than anybody else. And I would call up Rangel, and I would call up, both Chris and Jeff to say, hey, look, we're thinking about doing this. You in? They'd probably jump on it in a heartbeat. So.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. You know, they would jump in there. Not only that, but it's like Mike said. I mean, you see how other leagues respond as soon as, you know, they view a competing tournament series as an actual threat to their portion. Mm-hmm. I mean, the response is not reactive. Or it's not proactive. It's not. All they're doing is just, knee-jerk reaction, as opposed to, okay, this is their thing, so here's what we're going to do to try and make our event, better, or at least on par with what, is out there. And it would not shock me if we start to see that same thing happen to the NXL. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they would start to take a look at some of the smaller tournament series and see just how good of a turnout they're having, how much feedback that these guys are getting on, it was so great. The vendors, was set up in it was really accessible. It was in an area that was easy to get to. Parking was perfect, or, whatever. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest that the NXL suddenly was like, hey, instead of it being at this location, we're going to put it over here where it's a shorter drive for some of you guys. It's got a bigger parking area, and it's close to a more metropolitan area where if you want to go shopping, restaurants, stores, all kinds of things, whatever. And then on top of that, they also take just a portion of that money that they're making and sink it back into the event itself.
And Lupus says, you just described Bunkerfest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dennis also just described MPPL. Back when the nipple was hard, it was real good.
Which reminds me, Lupe, if you could shoot me a text or something after the show, I've got some information about my trip that I just needed to update you on. So stick around or something. Anyway.
But honestly, dude, it's almost like I'm now like I'm getting to that point where it's like, dude, there's a challenge right there.
Yeah.
To put together something to get these outside sponsors.
Yeah.
And I'm almost to the point where I want to take that challenge and start pulling something together.
Well,
start putting together, because it can be done.
Yeah, it absolutely can be done.
And
It absolutely can be done.
We're seeing the big festivals again. The big festivals that were going on back in the day, we're seeing those come back because no one's afraid of getting the cooties because the cooties are dead. And, you know, why not try to pull together another freaking MPPL style event at an outside venue with actual outside sponsors? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And who cares what the Godfather wants to say?
Well, here's my final thought on that is at some point somebody is going to have to say, all due respect, I don't care. This is my vision. I want to see it through. I don't care.
And the thing is that if we got the money backing us, what can they really say? Be like, sure, you want to talk to their lawyers? Because we may not have one, but I'm sure they do. And they're going to tell you, yeah, no, we're going to put on this event.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So anyways, all right. I'm going to step off my soapbox because I've been on it for a little while and I've been on it for years, but Huntington Beach would be great if they would bring it back. They ever bring that back. It may never happen. Let's just put it that way. It takes too much. And guess who was the man that was running that?
That was
huh?
Go
ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say Ron Kilborn was the reason why we had Huntington Beach.
He not only lived there.
Well, he works for the city.
Yeah, he worked for the city, so he knew the ins and outs of how to get around that.
Yeah, Chuck Hench was the other one. Yes.
Yeah. So
Chuck Hench and Sean Walker.
I'm going to put it this way. You had several prominent white people. White bread. Wheat.
Yikes. Yikes.
And a brown face and a white face going into a place like that just ain't going to get the attention.
Yeah. No, you're right, Mike. Chuck Hench, Sean Walker, they were kind of the driving force behind both the PSP at the time as well as MPPL. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ron Kilborn actually worked for Huntington Beach, and so he was able to orchestrate that event. I mean, I understand the cost that, potentially it would incur for holding an event like that, but at the same time, they made their money and then some.
They really made their money.
Yeah.
That event was not a loss. That was a gain for them.
And honestly, it was events like that did grow the sport.
Yes.
Because they were holding them in areas where the average person was just walking around. Another great example was the Orange County event. They had it at the Orange County Fairgrounds. Like, you can't get much better than that. I did see that, Mike. They never actually went away. The Bushwhackers never actually went away. They much like Excessive, have basically stuck to the divisional tiers now.
Yeah, but like I'm almost to the point right now where it's like, dude, I'll start looking.
Yeah. The San Diego event was another one where they had it in the parking lot of the stadium.
Well, I mean, they for several years they were having them in the stadium parking lots.
Yeah.
You had San Diego, you had Buffalo, you had Vegas. I think they did it right on the Strip. I mean, there are places that you can go and do this and have all the proper facilities that you need. Yeah, some Denver, Kansas City. I mean, the list goes on of all the events or all the fields that they were in or even on. And when you look back at the history of paintball, they had it inside the freaking Toronto Dome.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was inside the Toronto Dome. That's right.
So, but people were like, well, it's too expensive. It's like, yeah, well, you want it in good places. You want the attention. You want to grow this thing. Yeah, it's going to cost. So if you're willing to sacrifice that, it will grow. So yeah, the Sky Dome. There you go. But All right, guys. You know what? We've been ranting and ranting and ranting. We can continue to rant because we're two old paintballers that love to rant about
Yeah.
this stuff. So we're gonna call it a night because
Yeah.
all I'm doing is getting upset.
And honestly, I want to bring up some of the stuff we talked to tonight to Scotty over at Will Ball for Soup and see what he has to say. Because I know he'll definitely have something to say.
I'm sure he will. He definitely will. I see all those messages and I'm like, oh my god. So, all right, guys.
Yeah, 3. Mike, and Lupe. So 4. Mike and Lupe, both. 4 old paintballers.
But all right, guys. Well, we are going to call it a night with our ranting, and just say, look, guys, you want to grow the sport? There are ways to do it.
Well, not only are there ways to do it, but freaking prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it.
So, anyways, all right, guys. It's always fun to be on this show. Really, it is. Even though you hear the anger and the hostility, it's still fun to be on the show.
Yeah.
But it's because we're so passionate about this sport, and we do want to see this thing finally get to a point where it's no longer just a game or a hobby or, a joke. Really, we want to see this sport grow. We want to see the next generation get a chance to have their Huntington Beaches.
That's right.
Get a chance to have their, Buffalo, Chicago, all these places, the places that we got to play, these guys may never get to play. And that's what sucks, because they were amazing events. You felt like freaking superstars.
Yeah.
It was just the coolest thing. So, but enough. All right. Seriously. We're going to get off our soapbox. We're going to talk about, okay, again, best way to get a hold of us, if you have any questions, if you want to, talk to us, or you want your team to come on the show, DM us, or you can email us right there at behindthemaskmedia@gmail.com. And of course, Behind the Mask Media on Instagram. So, and another great way to help support us is by,
You gave me a cookie, I gave you a cookie. You gave me a cookie, gave you a cookie.
Send us for a year. That's one way.
Gave me cookie, got you cookie. You gave me cookie, I got you cookie, man. Gave me cookie, got you cookie. We're even. We're even, Schmidt.
I love that show. I really do. And I love Nick. Nick is the best of that show. But you want to help support us? We do now have shirts, but of course we need to order some more shirts because some of them we already sent some out because, we've got people that we want to take care of. But you can buy us a cookie. Go onto our Instagram at the top of our link tree. It's in our profile or whatever you want to call that thing. Click on it and you see buy us a cookie. You can buy us one cookie. You can buy us however many cookies you want. We've got a great supporter, which is Buckaroo Bonsai, which I need to get out the newer shirts to him because he has been a great supporter of this show. So buy us a cookie. Help us out. That's one way to support us. Once I get I'm actually working on a website for us. And so you'll be able to actually buy merchandise on there. So as of right now, you can't buy, but you definitely will be able to get them from us. So we're working on things. We're still getting things flowing. But yes, Lupe, yes, you did. You got yours, but you got, let's just say Buckaroo's got a couple more because I haven't gotten the new designs to him. So I'm going to get the newer designs off because they've been printed. So again, buy us a cookie. That's a good way to support us. And if you guys, again, want to reach out to us, talk to us. We're more than happy to talk to you guys. So, and we'd love to, we're looking for more guests. We want to spread the word about the young guns. We want to spread the word about the smaller teams. We want to get to know you guys, and we want everybody out there to get to know you guys also. So hit us up. We're more than happy to read your story and then see if we can get you on. So enough of this. All right. So guys, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun as always. And as I always say, get out there, get to those local shops, drop your cash on their counters and get some gear. Get out to your local fields, play, but don't be a douche and overshoot somebody. And remember, there's going to be kids out there also, families and all that other stuff. So be nice out there, guys. But drop your cash onto your local fields. SC Village obviously is now starting to take some of that cash that they've been making and are improving fields. They just reopened a new field. So check them out. Go out to SC Village, which is out here in Corona, and play some paintball.
Yeah.
So
say what you will about the management of the field. SC Village is still one of the better places out there. I mean, we prefer going to Jungle, but that's more just because that's been home for us for a while.
Yeah, but get out there and play. Tell Gio I said hi, and he'll be like, "Who?
Who? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly." So, but all right, guys, we're gonna call it, and this is it for us. So, we can end off with the nice little tagline of mine, which is, "If you move, if you can shoot, if you can move." I blew my own. Wow, one of those nights. And I know Lupe is he's gonna shoot it up on the message right now because he did that last time I blew it. So, if you can move, if you can shoot, you can move, then you can play.